Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. First of all, thank you to the new Studmuffin super supporters and all of my supporters on my YouTube channel here and also Patreon. I really do appreciate the support, and the links are below to join either Patreon or become a member. And so this is Rate Your Music. It's a website I've been on probably over 20 years. And you can see my name there at the top. It's simply called, my username is Larry Graves. And I use this site quite often, just out of curiosity for what other music fans rate their, the albums that I like or I'm checking out. So I think it's a little better than just going and reading an album review, from Rolling Stone or whatever. And the ratings are out of 5. And what I'm going to do here, I think, of course, the Beatles in the 60s. But besides that, I think the best decade overall for rock music was the 70s. And so this isn't all rock related, but it's the bottom. I'm going to do the bottom albums of the 70s and then the top albums of the 70s. And I'm just curious how many of these I've heard. And so just remember, these are rated by actual music fans. It's probably still not completely accurate. Uh, Maybe there's just a bunch of nerdy music fans that use this site. I don't know. But here we go. Bottom albums of the 70s. So as you can see, the first one is America, Why I Love Her by John Wayne. I've never heard the album. It's got a 1.01 rating, average out of 5. And the next is Elton John, Victim of Love. I did buy the album because I was doing my Does This Album Suck series on my other channel. And I think at the end of it, I said the album does not suck. It's just not very good. It's not that interesting. It's Elton John doing disco music, but I've heard worse. And then the Velvet Underground, their final album, of course, the only member was Doug Ewell, who played on the last two authentic Velvet Underground albums. So I've never heard all of Squeeze. I don't think I have any interest in buying it because it was really, a Doug Ewell solo album. But I think Doug Ewell with Lou Reed and the other original members, he was excellent in the Velvet Underground. Love Beach, I think I said that album sucked, as does the album cover. Peter Chris, I've never heard. I've never heard We Had It All by Scott Walker. 15 Big Ones, the Beach Boys. I'm pretty sure I think I did that for my Does This Album Suck series, and I said at the end, it sucks. And I'm a fan of the Beach Boys. Ken. You always see this in the worst album covers websites. I've never heard it. Okay, The Doors Full Circle. I do have that and Other Voices on a 2-for-1. They're separate CDs, but they're together in a double CD. And I think Other Voices is pretty good. It's not bad. Full Circle, I've hardly ever played. I should actually maybe do that for the Does This Album Suck series. but it's certainly not as good as other voices, or of course, all the albums with Jim Morrison. Bad Boy, Ringo Starr. I don't think I've done that one, and I think it was Old Wave that I did for my series. See, Mardi Gras, Creedence Clearwater Revival, number 11. And I feel that over half of the album is great. It's just four or five songs that are kind of bad. I even love Stu Cook's Door to Door. And then John Fogerty's songs, most of them are really good. Sweet Hitchhiker, Someday Never Comes. It's definitely their worst album, but still, I don't feel that the album sucks overall. It's just an okay album. Scott Walker, Stretch I've never heard. I've never heard MIU. Does that album suck? Gene Simmons. No, the only one I did on Patreon was Ace Frehley's first solo album, when they released all four solo albums at the same time. And I give it a pretty good rating, at least I think a B+. Boom, Dylan. Never heard that one. LA Light, another supposedly bad Beach Boys album. Ringo the Fourth, that's the one I did for the Does This Album Suck series. And at the end, I think I said it. I forget. But it wasn't very good overall. I'm going to be doing a video on Can soon, so I don't want to say too much, but I've heard this is their worst album. I think it's kind of poppy. But they do everything. And the later albums, they were doing some reggae and everything. I do have two more Can albums coming my way. Saw Delight and Flow Motion. So I will now have 12 Can albums. So stay tuned for a video on Can. Yeah, Other Voices by The Doors. I don't feel it's that bad of an album. Bjork, I've never heard that one. Tim Buckley. I've heard some Tim Buckley albums, and I was really impressed with them, like some of his early ones. Yeah, Gentle Giant, that's when they went kind of poppy. I haven't heard the whole album. I'll just do the top 30 here. Music and Me, Michael Jackson, I've never heard. Never heard that. Quiet Riot. Sentimental Journey, I've never owned the album. I probably heard quite a bit of it. It's okay. I've heard worse. Captain Beefheart, I don't mind this album. I think it's a little underrated. Unconditionally Guaranteed. That's when Captain Beefheart sold out. He's got money in his hands. I find kind of funny. It's an okay album. Ups. That's not one of my favorite David Bowie albums, but it's pretty good. Yeah, Works Volume 2. Not a fan of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Chicago 13, I've never heard. Let's see what else is here. Dylan. Sometime in New York City. That's not bad. I lied. I'm going to do the top 40 here. Never heard that one. Boy, Scott Walker has some bad albums, I guess. Chicago Hot Streets, I've never heard. Okay, let's go to the top. And as always, please remember, update chart. Please remember to like the video. I really appreciate it. And leave a comment below after you watch the video. And please subscribe. And become a member of my channel. I'm going to start doing a vlog for my members that I'm going to try and do it at least once a week. First one is already posted. So for the top albums of the 1970s, Pink Floyd is at the top with the first two. Yeah, they're two great albums. Although I'd have others at the top. Probably Ram. That's a great one, of course. Ziggy Stardust. Love that. Paranoid. Animals I never totally got into. It's not one of my favorite Pink Floyd albums. I love Red. I don't own it at the moment, but it is a great album. I've heard Pink Moon. I did a reaction to it on Patreon. I believe that was the album. Anyway, one of his three I did a review for on Patreon, and I really did like it a lot. Yeah, Songs in the Key of Life is great. Um, Never heard the whole album. I might have done a reaction on Patreon. I don't remember. I've done hundreds of reactions on Patreon. It's hard to remember everything. What's Going On is great. I've got, yeah, I've got Bitches Brew. I've got probably 5 or 6 Miles Davis albums. I don't play them. I should. I do enjoy them when I listen to them. I'm just into Can so much lately. Love David Bowie's Low. Yeah, another classic by Yes. I used to own that on vinyl. Not, I thought it was good, but maybe a bit overrated. Led Zeppelin 4, of course. Master of Reality. Stationist, all great albums. Blood on the Tracks, I don't own. My favorite of his, of course, is Slow Train Coming. Inner Visions, I've never owned. I'm so happy. I wasn't expecting that. So, number 20. It actually isn't. I was saying it's my favorite Can album, and now it isn't, but wait for my video. But I still absolutely love it. I'll say no more for now. No idea. Yep, Black Sabbath. Another Can album. Wow. Can was so influential. They're actually more well known than I thought they were, which is pretty cool. That's kind of surprisingly low for this list. Great album. Great album. Never heard it. Great album. I've got that. It was gifted to me. Great. Great. Love it, although I'm a bigger fan of their other albums like Sandinista. And Give Them Enough Rope. Yep, that's great. That was gifted to me. Great album. I'm just going to say great album to all of these. That's a classic. Classic. I've never heard that album. Metal is awesome. Nope. I've never heard that full album by King Crimson. The boy, those great. My favorite Talking Heads album. So there's another Can album. Woohoo! Go through this quickly. See what else I like here. Not a fan of Steely Dan. Not my favorite Genesis album, but it is very good, of course. I've never heard all of Raw Power. Great album by CCR. Great album by the Rolling Stones. That's a great album. Great album. Great album. I prefer their earlier albums like Autobahn and Radioactivity. I do own that, though. Ram should be at the top of the charts. It's my favorite Paul McCartney album. That might be, along with Sabotage, my favorite Black Sabbath album. Great album. My favorite Led Zeppelin album. Nick Drake. That might have been the one I reviewed. Yes, Fragile. I did a reaction to that on Patreon, the full album, and it was excellent. Love Simon and Garfunkel. Hamel's good. Don't have that one. Love Genesis. So that's about it. Not my favorite Rolling Stones album. Born to Run is great. Wire, early Wire. If you've never listened to Wire, check out Pink Flag. It is excellent. Yeah, I'll do the top 80. So that's it. I could go on for the next hour, but I won't. So yeah, I'd love your thoughts on this list, the worst and some of the best from the 70s. What do you consider some of the best albums from the 70s? Sparks, Kimono My House, and Propaganda, and Indiscreet come to mind, along with all the other Sparks albums. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.